The most powerful entities in Cyberpunk 2077 world will be the megacorps. Think along the lines of Google, Facebook and Amazon, but only much larger, with a greater degree of autonomy, influence and their own private security forces. The megacorps are certainly not a homogeneous group, with their sphere of influence highly dependent upon which area they specialise in. Most produce a commodity which can be sold, as evidenced by the various items present in a recent gameplay demo. In many respects, the corporations operate in the same manner as companies in our world do. Advancement in a corporation is not based upon merit. Nepotism, brown-nosing, cheating, lying, blackmail and piracy are commonplace. Organised crime is firmly embedded within the corporate modus operandi. Already established amongst the Zaibatsu, the corporate families of Japan, they routinely hired assassins and yakuza to solve problems. Given the global nature and competing interests of various players, this criminal influence rapidly became pervasive. Cyberpunk 2020 also redefines the meaning of headhunting in the corporate world. Assassination, espionage, covert activities, and kidnapping are commonplace. Rather than the human resources department, you can often find a team of highly experienced and well-equipped solos handling the negotiations with a potential employee. In Cyberpunk 2020, there are 14 prominent and powerful corporations, some of which have already made an appearance in the recent 2077 gameplay demo. EBM, an acronym for Euro Business Machines Corporation, is a computer and electronics manufacturer. In the late 1990s, EBM, already the most dominant company specializing in computers, embarked upon the greatest free market hostile takeover in history, leading to the merger of EBM with many other prominent tech companies, consolidating EBM's already fearsome market position. Zetatech was involved in wetware and computer hardware design, one of the smaller companies that managed to carve itself a niche through quality products, industrial espionage, and strategically applied violence. Their software makes an appearance in V's apartment when she checks her messages. Network News 54 is a nationwide broadcasting service and a wavelength monopolizer, which operates on the same frequency across the USA. Media corporations influence public opinion through TV, print and other forms of entertainment, which has meant dissenting opinions are usually buried and destroyed with ease. Perhaps an interesting consideration is whether CDPR updates media corporations in light of the changes that have occurred since the 1980s. For example, social media companies such as Facebook could have an interesting Cyberpunk 2077 alternative. Orbital Air specializes in cargo and passenger transport to Earth orbit and maintains commercial orbital facilities. With their fleet of French-made Hermes spaceplanes, Orbital Air currently monopolize all orbital lifting capabilities. Microtech deals in ultra-sophisticated mainframes and workstations and sets the industry standard in building full-sized computers. Microtech is somewhat paranoid about espionage and thus invests heavily in security. Biotechnica has been highly influential in shaping the cyberpunk world through genetic engineering, microbiological and biochemical research. When the fuel crisis began to affect the industrialized community, Biotechnica's solution was Chew-2. Chew-2 is a complex grain alcohol produced from genetically engineered yeasts and wheat. Currently, all fuel-burning vehicles and power plants have converted to the Chew-2 fuel. Infocomp is a corporate think tank and information broker that provides scientific, technical and personal data pertaining to any subject so long as the customer can afford to pay for it. Merrill, Asukega and Finch are an exclusive investment and financial counseling firm that handles investments for the richest and most powerful individuals in the world. WNS, an acronym for World News Service, are the cyberpunk specialists in information gathering. They are certainly no strangers to the dark arts of spying, espionage, sabotage and illegal snooping to ensure they always stay ahead of the competition. Petrochem specializes in petrochemical products and agribusiness. Also, they are the world's most prominent producer of chew too. Petrochem control millions of acres of arable land across the United States. This land is used to grow the genetically altered wheat that is used to make chew too. Currently, petrochemical corporations are in a research race to come up with a viable artificial plastic base to entirely replace petroleum products. Consequently, industrial espionage is rife in the industry. In order to protect their assets, Petrochem has one of the largest security forces. Trauma Team International are the foremost ambulance and paramedical service. As one of the largest private medical firms in the world, Trauma Team provides ambulance services and paramedical support for a client base of at least 15 million people. You will have seen them in action during the gameplay demo, where they rescue Sandra Dorset, who has a Trauma Team Platinum membership. WorldSat Communications Network has a monopoly on large-scale satellite communications and is responsible for the transmission of phone, military, computing commercial data. Probably the most infamous company is Arasaka. They specialize in corporate security, corporate police, and sub-operations. They maintain the largest armed force of any corporation. While they provide security to other corporations, they often use their position of trust to gain inside information to promote their own agenda. Militech will probably be the corporation you shall become most familiar with in Cyberpunk 2077, as it is responsible for weapon manufacturing, distribution and provision of mercenaries. It also featured prominently in the latest gameplay demo during the quest Going Pro. Meredith Stout, a senior operations manager from Militech, is trying to retrieve a Flathead, which is an experimental military-grade unit for surveillance and reconnaissance missions. The Flathead was stolen by a Maelstrom gang. Most weapons you may find in Cyberpunk originate from Militech. Many consider Militech to be the most powerful company in the world, given its in-house supply of weapons and troops. I'm Kazuliski, and I hope you found this discussion on the Megacorps to be informative. Thank you for watching.